Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, my name is Sylvia and I make videos on planning with the occasional review. Planning has always been my way of working out problems and solving the day-to-day issues in my life. Join me as I experiment on how to best tackle projects, figure out how to stick with habit tracking, and celebrate the wins, both big and small. So grab a cup or a glass of whatevs and let's get on with the video. Hey planner friends, today we're going to talk about how, as a planner, I don't want to plan. It's going to be a shit show, so buckle up. Alright, so here's the thing. I am just sick of my traveler's notebook. I aesthetically love the way these things look. They are just adorable, but they're also very reliable and really easy to use. Like, the functioning of the traveler's notebook is fabulous. Like, instead of a bound book, you can have a different notebook for each of your sections. That way, if this section gets filled before these two, you can just label this as volume 2 and put another one in there. And it's not like a regular notebook where you're like, I'm gonna save this many pages for this and this many pages for short fiction, and then the short fiction fills up and you're like, well, I don't have any more pages for that, so what do I do? This is brilliant. It's not the notebook's fault. I know that this is entirely my fault. I know that. I just can't seem to be bothered to open this damn thing, no matter what I do. So I thought, okay, let's give ourselves a challenge. So last week, I challenged myself to writing short fiction because it's something I really need to do. And I brought out this big ass book, this mammoth of a thing, to start reading more short fiction. I ended up getting this in college. It was used at the time, and then you can, at the end of college, usually they'll have you sell it back. They weren't going to be using this edition anymore, so they weren't going to buy it back for like the small amount of money that they actually give you. So I was like, cool, I'm going to keep it, because why not? I would love to read the rest of these stories. Haven't done it. Graduated in 2014, so that tells you something about me. Anyway, whatever that is, I don't want to know. Anyway, so I have this, and I thought, okay, I'm going to read more short fiction. I'm going to write more short fiction. I sat down with AI and got together a schedule, a plan, and I was like, don't really like that. So I took what I like and I leave what I don't. When I was done, I, for an entire week, sat down and I filmed it. That way I would actually do it in technically it was 15-minute increments, but when I put them into Final Cut Pro, I cut them down to 3 minutes so that I can make them into shorts on my channel, Sincerely Sylvia Writes, which I need to get to. Sincerely Sylvia. Okay, so branding is a thing and I really like that. Anyway, what was my point? Squirrel. I finally got through an entire week of writing short fiction, fell in love with it, and I feel like it's an easy thing that I can do. I proved to myself that I could actually do it. So I decided that this week, for those of you who are new here, I'm sorry I'm not always this scatterbrained or crazy. Maybe I am. Who cares? This is a weekly insert by Traveler's Company. My second insert is a monthly, and then I swapped out my other, long-term-ish notebook for this one, which is just blank pages. Now, you may have seen this cover before. I just barely taped this on so I could always keep it. This used to be a postcard cover, and I just love butterflies, so I kept it, and I put it on a notebook occasionally. This is the same notebook from the last time you saw it, whenever you saw that, because I only used it for like 3 or 4 days before I abandoned it. But I was like, Sylvia, you are not going to use another insert. This is ridiculous. So I brought this one back out because only 4 pages were used. I can use this to help me with what I want to do. So here's what I want to do. I took this weekly insert that I have not been using, and I set it up for another week of short fiction. So on the left-hand side, I have short fiction. Let me zoom in a smidgen so you can actually see. I think I fixed my camera that I can do this. Before I had to stay in manual because it was whatever. So on the left-hand side, I have short fiction. It's 15-minute sprint, and then I have EWC, so end word count goes there. And this is all for writing short fiction. Because I want to write more vocabulary and I need to make out a plan, I went to AI again and I was like, give me a plan. So AI gave me a plan, and I haven't read that one yet because I didn't want to start both of these challenges in the same week. That would have been too much. I'm going to be starting this one next week because it's almost, tomorrow is August. Okay. And I'm a little stressed. Anyway, I'm going to be doing probably, I don't know, I have to look at it, maybe another 15 minutes because that works for me to sit down and work on vocabulary. I'm going to make a video. That way I have some accountability and some content for Sincerely Sylvia Writes. So if you're not following me on that channel and this is interesting to you, head over there. I haven't started this yet, but I think that I can add in another 15 minutes to do this challenge a week. So I have these two, maybe I'll do them back to back for a full 30 minutes of sitting, which is not too bad. I wanted it to be simple and easy breezy. I am going to be continuing the same short fiction, and I have a plan sort of down here. So all of that is great, and I'm hoping that I can use this notebook, zoom back out, I apologize, for just these two challenges. And I think that's really great. Now, I have no plan for the monthly. Mostly because, to be perfectly honest, I use Google Calendar because a lot of the appointments and things that I have are like Google Meetings. I have no less than 5 appointments with counselors and teachers and athletic coaches and directors for my niece Jade because school is starting not this week but next week. So all of those are either Zoom meetings or in person, and I had to get confirmations through because they use Google Calendar. So they're all just in there. It's very convenient. So the monthly is just really hard for me. Basically I plan things out on here, but I don't really refer to this or check that off. Does that make sense? And I think for the most part, that's okay. That's okay to just plan everything out, see what it looks like, and then I go to these little doohickeys here. So this is my early month. Let me zoom in again. Are you guys getting sick? I'm sorry. So here is my early month, and I really like these 10-day planning things. I just made them in Canva. It's not that serious. Yeah, so I have the first 10 days of the month. I break down the month in thirds. And then all of the things that I have to get done, and I have more to actually put on here now that we're getting closer and some of the scheduling things have been confirmed. I started to check these things off here like a stupid person because I grabbed the wrong one. I still had July, and I'm not going to fix it. It's fine. I only marked off one thing, but I had July next to this one so that it was prepared and ready. And I started checking it off, and I was like, why haven't I checked these things off? Which is funny, but it's okay. I have a couple of things here that I've left open because I don't know what day I'm going to get to them, but these are the 3 days in which my niece is going to be with me during this 10-day period, and so they have to be done on those days because they have to do with her. I also created this, which is new. And these little things are fabulous, but they're also part of the reason why I feel like I don't need traditional planners or dated planners as much, because these are really helpful to me. Usually these two things and a list, which I think we're getting ahead of ourselves. Anyway, those are usually the things that keep my planning to a minimum, which I appreciate. So I just created this. Do I have an old one? Hold on. Here is an empty version of that. Okay, so I started this out in Canva. Again, I just created it, and I just put a little note to myself for how many times a week I want to do this. And this is when I decided that my brain needed to go 2 hours, because trying to plan trying to have a habit every single day doesn't always work depending on the habit. There are some things you absolutely want to do every single day, but most of the times for me, the answer is no. And as long as I do it a certain amount of hours a week, I'm golden. So I started to do that. This was quite large, so it wasn't going to fit in my passport because it was too long. Still narrow enough, but too long. So I went back in and decided that for August, I wanted to kind of do a version 2.0 or whatever of this. And this is what I came up with. Because back then, I was thinking about a week as in 7 days, which was stupid because the rest of my planning is in 10 days, which is also the reason why I feel like I don't love this anymore. It's in 7 days instead of 10. You can just count 7 and then do 3 to the next week. That's true. But I don't know. Something about this system is just not working for me this year. I'm also, I had to just use my Hobonichi Weeks, which has the same layout as memory keeping and other things like that, because I couldn't plan in there. I know. Back to this guy because I'm all over the place. So we have 10-day planning at the top. T is for total. And then I have the 10-day habit tracking. So over here are the different categories that I am trying to track. So I have a project 1, 2, and 3 of writing. The third one is short fiction. And so I put the hours based on a 10-day period instead of this one, which was in 7 days. And I feel like hopefully that will help me a little bit more. And after this, first third of the month, I can decide whether I need to adjust some of these times. Right now, I'm kind of just estimating based on what I've done here and what I've been doing, because I've done this long enough that I have some, information that I could pull and put onto here. Yeah, so 5 hours cleaning, that's over a period of 10 days. So if we're doing 30 minutes, that's math, right? I'm hoping that's 5 hours. So that's sort of where I'm at. And again, if I can find one day out of the 10 days where I can do a deep clean of everything or most things, then, and I get let's say 3.5 hours that day, as long as I get 5 throughout the week, that's cool. But I tend to find that if I do 30 minutes each day, my house will stay pretty tidy, if that makes sense. So this and this is what I'm working with because they're teensy. Obviously this is a standard. Oh my gosh, I'm still zoomed in, sorry. Man, this video is going to be annoying for you. I apologize. Since it's teensy, it actually fits both in here. So I'm thinking about just kind of possibly either taping or connecting them. Usually I keep this one on with one of these guys, and then it helps me find it on the side. I just want to put it somewhere where I don't forget. Now this one I made in Canva, like I mentioned, and I just used, if you type in weekly habit tracker, I believe, you'll find something similar to this, but it'll have like 31 days. I just cut off the extra days that I didn't need, and I widened this last column. Very simple to do. It's like a no-brainer for sure. But when I tried to make it smaller, like to minimize it, it would only go to this size. And I forgot when I printed it out to print it at like 90% or 85%, so it would be small enough to fit my passport. Now I do have one in here for this first 10 days. And you can see here that it's kind of like bent a little, but it's not that serious because I can keep it in this pocket. And so I can see it right away when I open it. Also, I can see this. So I'm thinking what's going to happen, because I'm just keeping my planning loosey-goosey because I'm serious. It's driving me insane. I'm just like struggling to try to use a planner. Not to plan, I guess I should say, but to use a planner. So I thought I'd put these 3 in here. This was also a freebie by Peanuts Planico, I guess. Is that true? Yeah. And if you're in the Facebook group, they have these freebies in there, which is really, really cute. And it's a Monday start. I think you get a choice between Monday and Sunday, which is fabulous. And I'm going to keep that in here to track some of my habits. So let's see what else. Okay. So this originally was my writing notebook, and I was writing teeny tiny in here, and that's still working. I find that as soon as I get started, I really don't need to have a notebook to write in anymore. So I think I'm going to be using this to write notes for books that I'm reading here and there, and short stories, mostly the short stories that I'm reading in here. So I'm hoping that that's what I'm going to do there. And then in this guy, I was writing things down. I originally did do this for like, I don't even know. This was back in what? June. I started doing like the planning in here where I just make a whole list, and then I have these little sections, and then this is the column in which I write down what day I started it in, and F is when I finished it. So that works really well for my brain. But I realized the majority of the things I was writing down are projects, and I was going to be stuck on this page or forwarding things for a really long time. So I just marked it projects, and I started over here with just like a regular list in July, because I think this was, no, it wasn't even at the end. So I just take breaks from things, and that's fine. This is at the beginning of July, and I started to just make regular lists over here. And then I abandoned this as well because I was like, I don't really know. So my new plan is to make an August projects list, and then also a daily list in here like I had before. I don't know why. It obviously didn't work out the first time. I mean, we went from June to July, and that was pretty rough. So if at first you don't succeed, try again, I guess. I don't know. What do we call that? Madness? Crazy? The definition of insanity. I also wrote down I could put vocabulary in here, but I think that this is too teensy. It's cute because I can carry it with me, and I also can, I don't know, I can also practice, well, not practice, rather I can study it on the go, which makes me happy, and then my niece could also do it with me. So maybe vocabulary would work in here, but I do have this bigger notebook that I can do something in as well. Honestly, I just don't need to write on stuff all of the time. That's where what I'm finding. Oh, the sun is coming in. We better finish up. So that's, what is my plan? What is my plan? No plan. I have no plan. It's a plan. I am basically gonna kind of just wing it and try to figure out what's going to work best for me. I have made a note to print these out for the rest of the month, but at a smaller size. So I don't know if I'm gonna use that one or not, but they're all here as soon as I open it, so I see them. Hopefully I will just pull these out like this, have them out here, which is fabulous. And then when I'm working on my dailies, if I decide to set them up in here, because I still don't know, I still have a couple of days, but I didn't want to make this video because I think other people struggle too. And it's okay to just go in to the monthly not knowing how you want to set up your planner and just use it organically, you know, just let it come to you and see what works out. So this one fits in here nicely. This one obviously is cute and fits in there as well. But this guy is just a little too wide. So I'm thinking printing it at 90% or 85 will fix that. Just a little too wide, but really cute. And if you're wondering why I have these divided in half, that's because I realized that my project one, I want to try to spend 14 hours, which will give me an hour and change a day. I'm hoping to spend 2 hours, but at a minimum 14 hours on this project. So I just divided them in half, and so I can fill out the top part. I know that's 1 hour. If it's all filled out, then I know I spent at least 2. And if it's like a half of this, then I know I did an hour and a half. Does that make sense? Whatever, as long as it makes sense to me. But for those of you who are wondering, that's what happened. Okay, so no plan for August. Also, there is a plan. It's just more loosey-goosey, and I think that's fine because I'm so stressed around this time of year. There's just so much socializing, and that is just not who the hell I am as a person. And so I just get stressed, and I just need things to just work out. And this is like, I really wanted to jump into a bullet journal notebook, like an actual like Leuchtturm or something. And I was like, Sylvia, you can't handle that right now. You cannot handle the truth. Just kidding. So I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to give this one more of a go. And who knows? By the time August finally comes around and my next video comes out, I might be in something else. But for right now, there's nothing wrong with any of this stuff. It's just mostly me, and I do know that. Do you know it also? Let me know how your planning is going and if you just have struggles wanting to plan. All right, so don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.